Good evening, Forge. This is the Wild Man. With me, as always, is
co-host DJ Tiano. How you guys doing? It's Thursday, February 4th. We haven't been at it for a while. We apologize. We had to take a couple weeks off there. I ended up catching COVID.
Got the Rona.
Got the Rona. So I followed all the procedures I had to follow. Yeah, it was no fun, dude. It's real.
Oh yeah, I always figured it was just like a super flu or whatever the hell it was.
In a sense, the worst of it, I didn't get too many. Mine was kind of a mild case.
Okay.
First 2 days were horrible. I was completely fatigued, dude. And I felt like I had the chills. No fever though. Never had fever. Never had respiratory issues.
That's the good part right there.
I did, however, lose my smell. I could literally stick my nose over a cup of coffee, couldn't smell nothing, couldn't taste anything. And yeah, my family got it too. Luckily, the kids, they didn't show any signs. You know, the wife showed the same kind of symptoms as me. We got through it. Here we are today, man. Yes, sir.
Moving on. Stronger than ever. Stronger than ever.
You know what they say, one step forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it happened, man.
There you go. All right. So, today's episode is human decency.
Yeah, human decency. First thing I want to address.
Yes.
This is the ultimate human decency right here.
Yes, bring that up.
Support from a good friend of mine. We never even asked for donations or anything at this point yet. And he took it upon himself because he thought we were doing something positive. And he sent us a little donation. So thank you, Danny Crawford. We appreciate you. Give you a little shout out there. And hope you're listening. And maybe we'll get you on one time. And maybe we can start a trend of this. And all donation proceedings go to bettering the show. We do have a green screen coming soon.
Yes, we do. It's here. I just have to read the particulars exactly how to impose like the pyramids behind us or something.
Yeah.
Because I'll get a kick out of that.
Yeah, but we'll get that going, and we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up in future episodes. But today, human decency. Can't forget the quote from 2 weeks ago. See, we lost 2 weeks, so we're a little off. We're gonna get back on this thing. We're gonna move this momentum train forward, and I will state the quote from last episode.
Yes.
All right. Hardship often prepares an ordinary person for an extraordinary destiny.
Still did it. Still did it. It's awesome.
I got put on the spot.
There you go. It's all
right.
But
yeah. So just break that down real quick.
And to me, that means the worst luck is if you have the worst possible life that you have is usually making you strong enough to just propel yourself through all that, and your greatness is waiting for you once you get all this. It's strengthening you.
It's pretty much saying, you start a video game on rookie or novice or whatever, and you're just going to whip right through that game. Mm-hmm. No struggle, you get to the prize, but they always say it's the climb to the goal that is the most important part.
The end, what is it? The destination, it's the journey. It's not the destination,
it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah.
But the hardships alone, they callous you, it puts you to the test, and it makes things easier on the way up because you already experienced these hardships. So, that was a pretty straightforward quote.
Yeah.
I try to keep it easy on you because the last one with the whole Bruce Lee thing.
There was what was the last one?
I don't know. It was
the way is the way, and the way is the way.
The way is the way.
Not the way.
All right, Forge podcast listeners, we're gonna get into this week's episode. Human decency. What is human decency to you?
Well,
Wildman?
It's a great many things. It's taking focus off yourself. And you're doing things, yes, for you, but how can I help this guy have a better life? How can I help this one have a better life? While moving forward and me reaching my little steps, boom, I got this step, got this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm helping this out. I'm helping him out. I'll just give you a brief. This episode came to me. I was shopping for dinner, and everybody, you have your dinner stores. We have Wegmans over here in Rochester, and one side of the cart rack says big carts, one says small. And this might be a little pet peeve, but I watched somebody just throw it over there, and one person left it across the parking lot. Well, you're not being a decent human by making the helping hands have to walk all the way across the parking lot.
And chances are I got a ding in my vehicle because of that shit.
Yeah.
You're being a shithead.
It's cold. You are, and it's cold out too. Yeah. And it's like
so,
this is not human decency.
That's an everyday occurrence. I'm sure we all see that.
Oh,
and you're right though. That is a very good explanation of human decency. Because number one, you're making it harder for the worker to collect all those carts.
Yeah.
Number two, you're leaving the possibility out there of dinging somebody's $30,000-$40,000 vehicle, and all because you wanted to get to your car 2 seconds earlier.
Because yourself, just walk. I park because my parents started this, because I don't park where somebody parks right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
My parents park, I park in East Bumfuck when I go to a store, and I walk in. I don't care. And I bring my car, I unload it, and I bring my cart. People are looking at me because I'm at the end of the Wegmans parking lot walking
you're thinking
back.
ahead.
You got to help. All right, how can we help this guy? He's got to be on his feet. He's pulling all the carts all over. That's all he does. Pull the carts. He wipes all the carts off because of the corona thing.
Yeah.
These guys, it's not just pick them up and throw them anymore. Pick them up and they wipe each one down. No, you can help out. Yeah. Be a good human. Don't be a selfish, don't
also,
be a prick.
Human decency isn't necessarily just doing little tasks like that. It's, being a decent human, and I want to be a decent human right now and thank those people. Now that I've caught COVID and I know that it's pretty serious, not that I never thought it wasn't serious, but now that I've experienced it, and I just had a mild case of it, and these people were out there working every day doing just a regular job, not getting paid anything extra to do it, and they've been in the face of the virus the whole entire time. So thank you. Thank you to all of our nurses, everybody out there,
one of the
frontline workers, everybody that's out there aiding and trying to get us through this thing. Whatever your stance is, to be a decent human being. Human decency. That's what today's episode is about. You want to cry and moan about wearing a mask for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long you're in the store, get over yourself, because I'm a painter. I've worked outside in 90-degree weather, sanding sides of houses, wearing one for 8 hours, and I'm talking a big respiratory.
Oh yeah.
Well,
in the military, ones. This the MOP 4 gear, the whhole rubber thing with all that sitting in 95 degrees. You're going through this. Oh my God, you're sweating.
So just get over yourselves and help us get through this. We all want to be.
What does it take? 30 seconds. You put the mask and you walk
over. It's not
over.
A big deal.
Who cares?
I forget it's even on my face half the time anymore.
Yeah, unless it creeps up like this and it gets in my eye. I'm good.
Oh, I'm sure we've all had.
Right.
I mean, what do you do when you got to sneeze? Have you come across that yet?
No.
Me neither.
I haven't.
Every time I've had a sneeze, I was able to hold it back. Do you sneeze and just get it all over your?
No, I haven't sneezed yet. I've coughed, but I haven't sneezed. Thank God, because it would be bad. Jesus.
The crazy part is, we played it safe, man. We played it real safe. We barely went anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere in over a year outside of shopping, but.
Well, I did it. After you said you got it, I went and got my test done, and I waited.
Yeah.
I waited the whole time. Didn't go out anywhere because I didn't want to be that asshole.
And it's strange because we got 2 other people in the household that didn't even. Nothing happened. Yeah. Nothing happened. It just attacks who it wants, when it wants. There's no borders. There's no politics. There's none of that involved.
Well, no, there's.
Well, it's around it. But
yeah.
I mean, the virus does. I'm saying the virus does not hold back.
No.
Over your political beliefs, if you're gonna catch it, you're gonna catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Enough of that though, because
let's get the.
So I just wanted to be heard that I did make that first run.
Yeah.
The next day
I got COVID. So now he's thinking,
No. I'll tell you what, because I sat around for 2 weeks almost, and I'm like, okay, well, running is probably out of the question because it has to do with your lungs, your respiratory system. You don't want to, you don't want to do that. And plus, you're fatigued. So I did other things that I wanted to accomplish. Since we've started this podcast, there was a few things I told myself I wanted to do.
Okay.
I want to read more books. That's what I did. I read more books. Do a little bit more studying.
Okay.
And I, not only did I do that, while I'm reading the books, I'm self-reflecting. I kind of fell down that negative rabbit hole, being stuck in the house because I'm so used to working and things like that.
Yeah.
So I got through that by reading some books and opening up some other avenues of things I always wanted to do.
Okay.
And the other things I haven't gotten to yet, I'm gonna get to it. I'm just looking into it. I'm looking into doing some sort of yoga, not like, just a specific yoga, stretching more so.
Okay.
I don't want to be that 50-year-old guy that can't move and shit like that.
That's no bueno.
These are all things that you guys are gonna come on this journey with me through this podcast. Because I'm trying to preach, get out there and
I think our listeners would love to see DJ get stuck in a downward dog while we're doing a podcast. We'll do it with him just down there. Yeah, well, things are real great over here. Yeah. Have you ever stopped and looked at the count of thread on your floors and your carpets? God damn.
All right, bro. So human decency.
Yes.
What do you got?
All right, so this is my big thing. One of them. Okay.
Because once
last episode.
Once I start diving into these, we opened up Pandora's box with this one.
Well, that's good.
And I started reading books, and I started soaking in knowledge, and my brain is a sponge right now.
You start talking about human decency, I gotta read some books.
So as soon as
what is that?
As soon as I get in this, we might not hear from the wild man the rest of the episode.
He thought I was talking about something mythological. Human decency. What the hell is that? Anyways, so it's a big thing. All right, so last episode, it was taking a leap. So others, you decide to take that leap. You're like, all right, I'm going to do this. You write it down, make your affirmations. Boom, boom. Here's what I got to do. So while you're doing this and you're building yourself, you're taking those steps, you're going to come across people that might be doing the same thing, or maybe they're just down on their luck. So instead of just like, fuck them, fuck that, be a decent human. Stop. Hey, I got an ear. What's up, man? What obstacle is hindering you right now? You listen, and they say something. First of all, you get that human contact. Oh, somebody cares. There's humanity. Yeah. You want humanity. My belief, my belief in humanity every now and then starts to dwindle. But sometimes something happens, and oh my God, no, this really awesome.
I think we've had a few talks behind the camera, not on the podcast, about life in general, and I came to you with a couple little issues I've been having, and you talked to me. You gave me an ear to listen to. You're being a decent human being. Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there.
And not always trying to solve whatever he was going through. Just listen. Sometimes an ear. And
or give
I tell him what I would do. And then he's, boom, 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 boom.
Exactly.
And then at the same time, you're sitting there and you're talking back and forth. And maybe something you're going through yourself while you're listening to the other person. That light, you have an epiphany. That light. Oh my God. Boom, boom, I can do this. And, and then you're both succeeding by helping each other.
Basically, it's the whole format of our podcast. We're doing this podcast to not only improve ourselves, but improve you out there as well. So, in a sense, this is a form of being a decent human. We're providing an outlet or just content for people to listen to maybe inspire them or motivate them on our journey to getting to our goals and our aspirations and where we want to be. So, are you ready, man? I want you to join in on this conversation.
Oh, don't worry, I will. I'm not going to.
I know you're glancing over and you're seeing all this written down.
I just hope you can read all that.
Basically, it's just to remind me of all of this stuff that I read. I took in so much information in such a short period of time. I didn't want to leave anything out that I found intriguing.
Okay.
So, all right. So, human decency, I started looking into this, and you may have recalled me saying something I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, that negativity kind of shines more than positives. So
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
on a Facebook thread or whatever, you get on a social media thread, and you see a lot of negativity, and
Mm-hmm.
it's usually outshining that one positive voice, or the person that's trying to be level-headed and approach a situation. It doesn't
Even in
matter
life,
in life,
you know,
politics,
the bad things
groups,
you do
whatever.
outshine whatever good you have done. Yeah.
I always had that concept just off of basic life experience, right?
Okay.
So I was like, okay, human decency, you know, let's. I'm gonna dive head in. So I started looking up authors and stuff because I'm reading books now,
Yay
and
after me.
I found this guy Rutger Bregman. He's a Dutch philosopher. He's a historian, and he's an author. All right.
Okay.
His latest book was my first book that I picked up out of the few that I was glancing at.
Okay.
And seeing that you proposed that this episode was about human decency, I found it fit to be one of the first books.
Okay.
So his latest book is dubbed Humankind. Um, he makes the argument that is not presented very often,
Okay.
and it's kind of along the lines of what I just was talking about, how the
Mm-hmm.
negatives outshine the positives and things like that. Um, so the argument that he's presenting is something that majority of people probably they don't even they don't even think could possibly be true. That most humans, 80% to 90% of humans, are actually decent. Okay,
Okay.
you know, but you see those negative.
You only see the negative.
How I applied it to that,
Mm-hmm.
to what I was talking about just a minute ago, is you see the more negatives,
Yeah.
because mostly the decent people are out doing decent things. They don't waste their time with the negatives,
And they don't try to show off.
they don't try to show
Yeah.
off. They're not always trying to be right.
Mm-hmm.
You usually find the negative people are the ones that are always trying to be right, are always trying to make their opinion a fact.
Get their attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and get their attention. So as I dove into this book. Basically, let me see where I want to pick up here. I should have got a highlighter. So his the premises of the book is that the human species is pretty much 80%, 90% decent, right?
Okay.
So in nature, and he's also backing this by science and history.
Mm-hmm.
His views are what our collective future could be if we actually came together and put forth effort
Mm-hmm.
to make a positive change, to do away with homeless vets, to do away with all the stuff that we talked about in previous episodes that should not be at this point in human timeline.
Yeah.
Should
In
not
our
be
evolution,
happening.
yeah, we should be well evolved past
It's like
this.
we're kind of going back,
I do feel like that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So his positive philosophies can be to value of all of us at this point in time in the pandemic and things like that. So if you kind of look at it, it's a fundamental belief that most people, despite what you see in news and social media portrays,
Mm-hmm.
that we're all decent. You know, the majority of us are decent. I mean, obviously you got your criminals and things
Yeah.
like that. But I'm gonna get back to that in a second with the criminal
Okay.
thing. But he speaks out about. I know we said we're not gonna bring government and religion into most of our topics. This is kind of the general idea of government and religion. It's
Mm-hmm.
not so much. I'm not gonna yell out senators' names and talk about certain
Yeah.
religions. It's just a general idea of these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the higher ups, they don't want to hear that. They shoot down this theory
Okay.
because they don't want the main population to see that we can all be decent and work together, because then we might find out that we can self-govern ourselves, which will result in them losing their power
Mm-hmm.
and their financial income and things like that, of that nature. All the stuff that we call government, people corrupt
Yeah.
or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So learning these things, it kind of makes you think, like, you go back in history and you look at why government was put in play and things like that, and you start to learn that it was to control the masses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like religions. People
Yeah.
say it was put in play to control the masses. So basically what you're getting is you got a 80% population and 90% population of decent human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But you got this 10% of not only the undecent humans, but the people in power that don't want to lose their power.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they think like this is because generally one's perspective of a population is that you look in the mirror and you think that everybody thinks like you, in a sense. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying specific thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
but generally, like, greed and
Yeah.
money. And they see this population coming up, and basically they're the villains. They're trying to brush it under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want people to know that, they don't want us. They don't want us together, man.
No.
They want us separated.
Well, yeah, like you're saying, because of that, if we work together, everything moves smoother. Everybody advances.
Mhm.
Everybody evolves. Everybody makes money.
Exactly.
And at that same time, when we're all doing that, that gives us all the time to watch those people
Yeah.
that are up high.
Yeah.
Oh, you're screwing up. You're
Yeah.
screwing up. What, really?
Yeah.
Really? No,
Exactly.
you're working for us. Why are you going to Bora Bora 7 times this year? No.
So he proceeded to break all this stuff down, and stick with me. I know this is a lot of information to take in a little, but it's gonna come full circle, and you're gonna be like, holy crap. I'm serious, because it kind of like blew my mind.
Okay.
And if this is the stuff that I'm gonna find reading, I'm gonna become a
I'm gonna make
reading
everybody
nut,
listen.
dude.
You're gonna hear this, okay?
But so here you go. You got the evil government, and you can kind of put this to any movie that is in that structure of Star Wars. You got the evil empire,
Mm-hmm.
blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they shoot this idea down because they want you to think that you need that hierarchy to get you through your problems.
Mm-hmm.
In the population, they want you to rely on them, because
Yeah.
they don't want us to think for ourselves and govern ourselves, because that's the day that we get younger people in the house,
Mm-hmm.
in the White House and stuff like that. We start coming up with these new ideas, and we're starting to turn that corner. We can talk about this generation being lax and lazy and entitled, but if you ask me, this generation is probably going to be the one to push the change that we've all been yearning for.
Okay.
Because they're on a whole different spectrum of it. You got your
Mm-hmm.
cancel culture. You got people calling out people for being racist. You got people calling out people for all the negative shit that's happened through all these years.
Mm-hmm.
It's really starting to be plastered into these kids' heads. They're the most diverse generation in any past
Mm-hmm.
generations. You got people going to school with every nationality now,
Mm-hmm.
and people are starting to blend together to a point where there's more mixed. So
Yeah.
now they're starting to push the envelope a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
With your all types of protests, whatever you got going. You know what I mean?
I look at it as all these, like you said, with the cultures and all the movements and everything. They are correct for the most part in their thought.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that because of how I was raised, I was told a couple months ago that if more people thought the way I thought, there would be no greed and there would be no racism at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, thank you. But they just they're going about the wrong way to prove their point or to
Yeah.
show this. That's my only thing. I'll be like with the riots. I understand that, enough's enough, but at the same time, breaking shit.
Yeah, but you can't all pin that on.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that should have been. Should have been like, listen, that wasn't us. We don't roll like
you got
that.
your
That's
decent
not
human beings that are
yes.
fighting for
Yes.
what they believe in.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you got the people who oppose that.
Yeah,
And then you
they're
got
trying to keep that separation.
And
you were
then you
talking
got the
about.
people in the middle that like to incite
Well,
you know, they like to somehow get those two to bump heads by starting these riots. And you can't, I mean, obviously, when those riots were going on, we had some stuff going on in our own city. And, you know, they were just kids and criminals that were looking to take advantage of the moment.
Yeah.
From what I seen here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was definitely more kids when you seen them rushing that shoe store and taking all the gear and all that stuff. They were just capitalizing off the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that gave the people who were looking for that human decency the bad name because it got all shoveled on them because they were a majority of the crowd.
Yeah. And well, that's the thing. My stepdaughter was like, you don't see, you know, the positive, like the, what is it? The peaceful protests.
Yeah.
You don't hear about. All you see is
the end result when it gets
the
turned
bad
upside
stuff.
down.
Yeah, where somebody, they want to incite.
That's things. Where I always believe the negative will always outshine the positive, because now this is a perfect transition into my next
my next book,
my next paragraph over here.
Oh my God, we're not even in a different book. We're in another paragraph.
I didn't go into too many. I stuck with this book because it basically, the book, you got to go out and get it. It's a great read if you're into books and stuff like that. But it basically highlighted our topic. So that's why I stuck with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then the way that this guy brought this full circle, it just blew my freaking mind. Like, so
makes you think.
Yeah.
You thought.
So
okay.
you get that negative always outshining the positive. Why is this?
Well, because see that I would say.
I mean, I don't mean like
people are
the reason. What is pushing the negative? Why
people are screwed up? We focus on the bad, the negative.
Why are we focusing on that though?
That I think we've got some sick kind of weird fetish. Everyone does. You put it like this: are you going to watch some wholesome show that comes up, or something where gladiators are fighting? I guarantee 11 out of 10 people are going to watch the Gladiators. I think it's just so many years of...
I'm going to drop it right now. So many years of news coverage. Okay. No.
So you think it's because of the news that we want the negative?
I'm only...
Or
I always thought the news was negative. I haven't...
Oh, yeah, I don't have cable.
There's very few select times I throw on the news. You know, I watch the inauguration, a little bit of it. I don't sit there and, like, gawk at it. And,
well, even that, they were still talking negative. Oh, he didn't do this, or this one didn't do that.
Exactly why I turned it off. You know, I just want to watch...
That's why I got rid of cable,
actually, the music. I was intrigued by the music and the people. You know me, I'm a DJ, bro.
I hear you.
But, so... growing up in school, you were taught that news is kind of part of the government. Kind of uses the news to, like, get their point across or back them. Or you'll see, like, Fox News is far right, right? So it's funded by billionaire Republicans, and all the anchors on Fox News are millionaires. So you got millionaires funded by billionaires just to put their point across to make them.
The people in power are getting their point across.
And like you said, people got that weird fetish where they want to see all this negative shit, right? So what does the news feed you? Negative shit, right? So I'm going to throw a couple numbers at you. 8 out of 10 people watch news, okay?
Now, is this just for America, or is this
this
worldly,
is a study.
Worldly?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't get into writing down all the specifics of who studied it, where it was studied out of.
Okay.
They were studied by professionals. They ran many tests and many surveys.
I get that job.
Exactly, right? Right.
You get paid to do them surveys.
So you got 8 out of 10 people watch the news, right? And end result of all these people watching the news, the total duration of time that these people put into the news is 3 years of their life. They figured this out. 3 years of a human's life is consumed by news, right?
For the span, so from like...
Yeah, whatever your life.
0 to 50.
Whatever, whatever. I don't know where they stopped it at. Obviously, you don't watch the news when you're 0 or 5, for that matter. Yeah. When you're old enough to grasp what's going on or whatever intrigues you to watch the news.
Until you evolve.
You're basically told to watch the news because you need to know what's going on around you, right? Right? That's what I've always said.
Yes.
But, you know, that you're told pretty much you're brainwashed to watch the news in a sense. So that, and now we got social media, which is like throwing gasoline on the fire. You know what I mean? You could go on any thread about
gasoline.
anything.
I would say C4.
You could go in on any thread and just see it go back and forth, left, right, politics, religion, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, but if you sit and listen to those, like I've caught like on Facebook, and I just read. I'll shoot through the comments. And I'm like,
guess what? We're in there reading it. Why? Because we're intrigued by that fetish of.
Oh no! See me, I'm looking at the stupidity.
Oh, me too.
I don't care about. I'm not feeling. I'm like, oh my god, what school did this guy go to? Because I'm never sending anybody there. Oh, really? Are you just? If you're saying this, use your brain. And I'm thinking, so what do these people not have anything better to do with your life?
Exactly.
You're sitting here putting all this time.
I've jumped in some meaningless. Like I told you, I'm a wrestling mark. It's the place for it. You know what I mean? Because it's fake, it's fun, entertainment. Football, I jump in talks of football because it's competitive, and even the touchdown on that. I'm a Oakland Raider or a Las Vegas Raider fan. You got fans within our nation of fans fighting other fans over stupidest shit in the world. Like, dude, we're all fans of the same team. What are you guys doing? Like, it's gotten to that point where even sports are tainted by this.
I get on the Marvel. When they get the Marvel or the DC,
but that's the place for it. The hobbies and the fun.
I look at those people, I'm like, are you touched? Did you eat a bowl of stupid for breakfast this morning? Like, they were, all right, so out of these Marvel characters, who are this? And somebody's like, oh, well, DC, well, we don't care about DC. This is a Marvel question.
Yeah. I'm a Marvel guy.
These people will just
go off, dude.
The DC, and it's the one from DC. Well, dude, look at the goddamn meme or whatever this thing is called, and use your brain. There's that switch in the back on the left side.
Yeah.
Turn it on and then break it. So yes, they're brainwashed and they years and years.
So we go from the step of government, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to hide the fact that we're all decent people, human decency,
by showing us the negative.
By showing us the negative, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, for instance, plane crashes.
Yep.
When people see that in the news, they're afraid to fly. Mm-hmm. But what you don't see in the news is right now we live in a time where things like that have dropped so drastically that you have a better chance of dying in a car crash than you do in a plane, right? But the news scares you so much because they highlight the crashes, but they don't highlight the statistics.
No, you don't see
of the non-crash.
Yeah, this was horrible. This plane crashed because of this, and then all you're thinking.
Yeah, so the human decency is being, I'm not gonna fly. I'm not gonna do that. Where's the human decency? Connect with that. It really doesn't on the level that we're speaking of here. Mm-hmm. But what I'm trying to show you is that the news has this much leverage.
Oh yes,
on
it's polluted people's brains.
Many people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's ridiculous.
So you got that. You know what I mean? So you got government, you got the news, right? Mm-hmm. So what else does the news? What's something big that the news is always pushing negatively? That comes from nature, natural disasters.
Yeah. Okay.
You got
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't had cable for the last.
Well, I'm just saying these are the things they highlight. You should know the news covers all the negative shit, man.
20 years.
But obviously, the whole world is like, oh shit, we got to tune in because there's a natural disaster. Like this could affect all of us, right?
Yeah. That's when we seem to pull together though. Those natural disasters.
So I'm just getting there.
All right.
Human decency comes into play right now. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's the only time that we tend to see it on the media.
On the media.
That's the only time you see the decency.
Let me show you this.
Here we go.
All right. So we got Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Louisiana, 2004.
I don't remember.
The levees broke. The city was submerged.
Yeah.
Right?
Destroyed half the city, yeah.
It was all over the news. Mm-hmm. What did you see? You seen Americans pulling together, rich, poor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, CEOs, guys on the bottom, fast food people. They were pulling together, and you're seeing this abundance of human decency, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like the largest scale of human decency that we see, you know, at least on the news,
Yeah.
right? So as the stories are coming out, Hurricane Katrina. Let me get to my notes on this part here.
Hold on a second.
I just want to make sure that I get it.
Intermission. Take a break.
Right. Okay.
All right. Remember, choose your destiny 2.0 at gmail.com. Please hit us with the questions. I kind of just figured out tonight that anything anybody sends about Forge, it goes into the social section, not to the primary section. I didn't think it would. So we give a big shout out to everyone who has sent us things or who's subscribed.
Thanks
who's
for
been,
being decent humans.
Yes, been watching. I know DJ was talking about there is somebody who wanted to possibly get an interview on there. You're saying she does like a dance class type of thing.
Yeah, Brendo. She's been listening.
Okay.
She'll probably mark out when she hears her name.
Okay, we're gonna try to get it.
We do have a few people that I want to line up and interview, and I know I keep saying it. We had that little setback. I got to figure all the technical stuff, and once we figure all that out, the Zooms or whatever.
Yeah, because I would like to even try to do where I would like to try to turn it where we can do live Zoom, and even with the Zoom, and then this way we'll still record it and then send it to people. But I would like the interviews to be more live, so other people could punch in or key in or whatnot. And
we do have a Forge Facebook now.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to do my best to kind of highlight the week's upcoming episode, and if we can't get you on the live feed or we can't get you through the emails, just throw up a comment, man. Give us something. Give us some kind of third party, interaction here.
Devil's advocate, please.
And we know there's people listening. We know there's people listening. The views are up. Even on our Spotify, we got some views rolling through there. We have started rolling in a little change.
Yeah.
But
no, I have seen it. I know it's like we took a couple weeks off, and every time I jump on my Facebook, you have so many Forge likes. This person subscribed. This one said something. It was like, that's awesome.
I mean,
everybody keeps telling me like your negative thing. Oh, but it's so little. I don't care if it's little. Everyone's just like, oh, it's just this, but. That's what I like.
You gotta start watch. Somewhere.
They listen, they subscribe. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm not Steve Harvey. I'm not Kevin Hart.
No,
The
we're
Rock,
not celebrities.
Will Smith.
We're just two dudes. From Western New York.
Although I want to tell them guys, I love what you're doing, but leave a little bit of room for us.
Save some pie for us.
Oh my God, I love pie. Pecan pie, but
so
all right,
back to Hurricane Katrina. Okay?
Yes, and the decency.
So the human decency. We've seen the country pull together, right? Now through the recovery of this, were stories coming out in the news.
I remember the riots. Yeah,
there we go. The news, right?
Yeah,
riots. We had looting, rapid poverty, upsticking violence. There was the stories of the Superdome. People were being raped and murdered within the Superdome. Yeah, these were all stories that we're coming across. Okay.
I just remember the riots, but okay, yeah.
End result, 90% of this was false.
Really?
And if it wasn't false, there was a narrative behind it. There was bad shit going on.
Oh yeah, probably.
But the news was making it out to be like this is a third world country in Louisiana right now, and there's there's this going on, there's that going on. Looting. Okay, they found this out. There was looting going on, but you know why they were looting? There wasn't the people going in stealing shoes. I mean, there probably was some of that, but there were more people banding together with cops, nonetheless, to gather supplies to survive.
Oh, that's cool.
I
didn't ever hear any of that. See?
And this is after the fact of Katrina, and this is some lady wrote a book about it.
Yeah, because didn't FEMA screw up or something like that?
She went around. I'm not too sure. I didn't do too much. I recall a story like that, but I didn't touch down on that.
Okay.
But this lady wrote a whole book about this, stating all the lies and all the. So you had 9 deaths or something like that in the Superdome. Okay, one was an OD. Like they were all, nobody was being murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Like people were sick. Things that were, somebody drank something, bacteria, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The murder rumor was all false. Like there was nobody really being killed or raped in the Superdome. You had a lot of people under one, place. I mean, I'm sure there was something bad happened. Someone got robbed or something. But all the negative, like, holy shit, what is the human race come to? You know what I mean? 90% of that was false. And the news was pushing that narrative.
Yeah.
Only to find out that shit was false. So it put a damper on the big picture that, damn, all us humans came together. 9/11, we all came together. There's people that let people down, down the stairways, or they let the first responders up. They let older people go, or people, there's decent human beings in that situation. And we all came together after that. That terror. Do you remember that was like, I think that was collectively the strongest of as a nation I thought we ever were at that point. The day after, I recall, like, the NFL still doing the Monday night game, and the way they went about it, they had a flag the size of the field, and everybody was there, and everybody was cheering, everybody was standing for the national anthem. This is prior to the kneeling and all that, the other side of the spectrum of the stuff we've been dealing with these days. But yeah, man, when our back's against the wall collectively, we are very decent as human beings. And this is what this guy kept saying in his book. Which pushes me to the next portion of it. It's the veneer theory, by a guy named Frank DeWall. Okay. It's basically the notion that our civilization is thin, like veneer, a thin layer, right? And when you get a little added pressure, when you get that hurricane or whatever, you know what I mean? That little added pressure, the veneer breaks, and everybody shows their true colors. They show their nastiness, their vile, their monsters. Again, this is the veneer theory of a philosopher. This is how he was trying to portray the fact that humans could be nasty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But basically, it's just showing that when you add a little pressure to people who are under scrutiny or under
pressure already, they're gonna.
That's how they snap out.
Yeah.
Act.
Oh yeah.
So I found that very interesting. But why is it important to be a decent human?
No, because
you said it. You stated it a little earlier. You want to lift people up. You want to help people out. And you want to see other people succeed.
This stems from, I see. All right, like with everything that's going on, I kind of personally feel that our country is turning into a third, fourth world country. Okay. I was in the military. I wanted, because I'm a patriot. I want to protect my country. Thank you. No problem. I didn't get to see. I didn't go overseas. I didn't see any war.
Served.
I did serve
with intent.
Yes, very much so. But I see what our country was. Okay, that we were all. It was for the country back in. You want to say the Cold War times? Everybody was doing everything to build up the country. Okay, now not so much. But at the same time, I see what everybody else, the other countries are doing. India, China, with that. Everybody in this, it breaks down to the city, the town, whatnot. Everybody in that town, everything over there is, they strive to make the town better, thus making the city better, thus the country.
Absolutely.
And over here, I just see the greed just tears everything apart, and it's
you hit the nail on the head, man.
It kills me sometimes that it's just like, you know what, we can do this. I understand. Yes, prices. What is it? When the price goes up, fluctuation
and inflation.
And there you go. I was at school in '95. Okay, I don't talk about that academic crap. But I understand that. But at the same time, we've got to learn to. All right, and and I have this down here. Alone we are strong, but together we're powerful beyond measure.
That's
okay?
awesome
We
that
can.
you say that, because this is ultimately where this is going to end up.
Oh, nice.
So the fact that you said that without hearing the rest of...
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know Frank. Or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I've never read his book.
So this dude that wrote this,
Mhm.
what's his name here?
Frank.
No.
Oh, that's not Frank?
No. Frank is the philosopher.
Oh, the veneer guy.
I mean,
Yes.
this guy's a modern day philosopher. This guy, Dutch philosopher, Rutger Bregman.
Bregman.
So Davos, this is a place where you get the most powerful people in the world, the most rich people in the world come together and they talk. It's like a all day, all week festival, not a festival, but like,
A meeting.
TED Talks and stuff like that, but not so much TED Talk.
Okay.
Where they get these people on a panel, you got an audience, you get people asking questions. Basically, what it is you get all these rich people together to help solve the world's problems. Okay. Right.
Does it never goes anywhere?
But check this, it never goes anywhere. You're
Because
right.
nobody wants
you know
to
why?
pay.
Because the people who are under pressure are never invited. The poor people, the people that face these problems, the people that face these adversities are never present. What you got are a bunch of money-hungry mongerers, and this guy was invited to this thing, okay?
Oh, okay.
Being a philosopher and whatnot. And he was on the phone with his wife, and he was like, man, it feels weird here. Like, literally 2,500 jets from around the world brought these rich people all together, and they're talking about solving the world's problems, but they're not talking about the one problem that can solve the world's problems, but they're not trying to hear it, which is tax evasion. Like, you got Donald Trump and not now, but you got him in office, right? And the guy won't even show his tax forms. How does this make us, if the president doesn't do it, we don't have to do it, right? It kind of...
See, I don't go with that. I look at it with my thing with him is you're the president, okay? You're the figurehead. When people think of the United States, you're what
Poster
first
boy.
comes. You are supposed to. Should be the embodiment of everything this country stands for.
Yeah.
And
not to
the
get
way
too
he
deep
acted,
in,
not yet.
We're not going to go there.
It was bad. But anyways,
we're not going to go there because I'm sure there's somebody that
Oh, but he did
Trump.
this. He did this. He did this. Yes, that's fine. He did
and
all
I'm
that.
not here to
But you have to act
fight
a
you about that
certain way.
because
Yeah.
I could care less about that shit.
No.
But to get back on topic,
Yeah.
so this guy's talking to his wife, like, it feels real weird here, right? So he sits down on the panel, and his wife told him, just tell them that. And we all have that woman, and if you don't have a woman, I'm sorry, but or a significant other to push you to actually be or say who you really are. She said, tell them that.
Speak your
Tell them
mind.
why you feel awkward there. So he put all these billionaires on blast right in front of the whole world.
Oh, because it was on national TV or whatnot?
You can go watch it right on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And this guy put them, I briefly watched it. And he was like, the biggest problem is tax evasion. And he goes, I'm a historian. He was like, if you ask me to name, one time when taxes actually, when everybody paid their taxes, 90% of the population and the rich people paid their taxes, it was the 1950s of America. And he's like, if you look back at that time, there was a lot of flourishing going on and a lot of industry work and a lot of, we were making our own stuff and before everybody found the cheap way to move them to a third world country and pay pennies on a dime.
And not paying what they should be paying them. Yeah.
Because they were not decent human beings because they were out for...
How much can I keep? How much can I save? Yeah.
So the fact that this guy went out and blasted all the billionaires, he's never going to be invited back to that freaking place.
Oh, no.
And there was another interview he did on CNN, or Fox News, and it never got aired because he ended up going to war with this guy right on TV. He was basically saying, you're a millionaire funded by billionaires, you're going to put the negative shit out there so that, everybody wants to be a right-winger, you know what I mean? And the guy, he couldn't take the ridicule and resulted right to name-calling, Says, "You're a little feeble man. F you. This is never gonna see the day of light." Blah 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 blah. The guy recorded the conversation, so boom, he got the guy. He's got him right where he wanted him, right? So, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like that guy had the balls to do that. You know what I mean? You're
The
talking
little
about
guy went up against the big guy. Yeah.
these guys could crush that guy probably like Thanos, just like that. You know what I mean? So, you ask, what's all this got to do with human, being a decent human?
I did. I did.
It all begins like humans. When we're put on this planet, ever since probably the day one, it all started with surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're all born with the idealism that we must survive. We are constantly seeing animals going extinct. You know, you had the earlier humans or the primates, whatever you want to call them.
Cavemen, Neanderthals, yeah.
Yeah, Neanderthals, the guys with the oblong heads and the big heads. Like, how come they never succeeded? How come they're not the ones that send the rockets to the moon? Why are why are humans the smartest people on this planet?
Mm-hmm.
You know, our species has got so far. I mean, look at us. We live in an age of...
We got Space Force now, dude.
Not only that, yeah, Space Force.
They do.
They do.
They're hiring like space police.
I know
dude.
they are.
It's gonna be Star Trek.
That's
boldly going.
Why are we? Are we the smartest? Are we the strongest? Honestly, are we the strongest species? No, because a gorilla could go flying, right? Are we the smartest?
Well, some animals, I don't know. That
All
whole
right.
thing. Wait, let me just cut off because I've been meaning to say this. That whole thing, curiosity killed the cat. No, it's stupidity killed the cat. I've seen. We have a cat, and it's just dumb as a box of rocks. But,
so you can. You're trying to make the argument that we're probably the smartest, right?
And we got thumbs.
Opposable thumbs. So
it makes it all better. We got thumbs.
There was a research taken out on this, whether we're the smartest species on this planet. And
oh no, I think we got beat by dolphins.
We got beat by chimpanzees.
Yeah.
I mean, the pig is one of the smartest things on this planet, believe it or not.
I've heard that before. I didn't believe it because it was media.
I mean, when they put this against the research, it's not like they took a full-blown human being. They were taking babies and chimps because they're not fully developed.
Okay.
So they're using the raw,
Yeah, but how can they? Because animals...
Well, they would do tests with colors and shapes, and so they're doing these IQ tests that doesn't involve things like talking politics and... No, like basic human,
Well, yeah, but see, I think that test, if you think about it, humans, we have to learn everything. Animals, for some reason, when they're born...
The instinct is in them.
They're born, yeah. It's
but
already
we have
there.
that instinct too. So there's...
But we're
I would have to go back to listen to exactly what the tests did and how they achieved. Mm-hmm. But the chimps were beating us in everything.
Yeah.
Okay? There's one thing the chimps did not beat us in.
What's that?
And this is the reason why we're all... You just said it a little while ago.
I just said a little while ago.
Yeah.
Which did I say that?
So the one thing they were not beating us in is being a social species.
Because they know how to talk.
It's not just the talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Human species are the only species on this planet that can blush. Okay. So you can look at a human being and get the whole story just from them blushing.
Yeah. Facial tics and all that,
no other animal can achieve that. Okay?
Yeah, but I thought it was called grooming, like the chimps when they're cleaning off the bugs and eating them and shit.
I mean,
interesting.
We clean each other. Not me and you, but humans in general, we take care of our,
we
sure
do.
They're not infested with mice and whatnot, lice and whatnot. But
you got mice and you got an itch.
Here's another trait that humans have that no other animal has. The whites in our eyes. We have the white around the retina of our eye. We can tell that you're looking at me. I'm looking at you. And these are things through evolution, that we went from those oblong brain guys to what we are now. This guy referred to it as Homo puppy, not Homo sapien. You know, like Homo sapien,
Mm-hmm.
Homo puppies. You know, puppies are cute. You know, we through evolution we've changed to be this attractive human being, not this big hairy,
Not like Bigfoot.
Tarzan Jane.
Yeah.
So